What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 20 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 2 picks wrong and got 20 right, which is a 90% win rate. Yes guys, you heard that right, 90% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 90% win rate and get 20 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which should be a link down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $250 just yesterday, and another member who won $250 for the 7th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Wnba Vlogs who said wow, good call on Kelsey Mitchell, and also shouts out to Phone M Grave 312 who said I'm already subscribed. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is none other than Sophie Cunningham, and this one is for 9.5 points, and this one actually is for less. Now looking at Sophie Cunningham, we actually have seen her go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at those 5 games, we see on July 17th, faced off against New York Liberty, had 12 points there. Then July 23rd, faced off against Liberty again, had 15 points. Then July 25th, faced off against the Aces, had 15. Then on the 28th, faced off against Chicago, had 5 points there. Then on July 31st, faced off against Phoenix and had 12 points in that matchup. So we actually have seen Sophie Cunningham go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games, and her average over the last 5 is also 11.8. Now, looking at this matchup, as we all know, Indiana do face off against Dallas Wings, and it is definitely going to be an interesting game there. Now, looking at where both of these teams do rank, starting off with Indiana Fever, we do know Indiana Fever do come in at the 6th spot in the WNBA, but they also rank 3rd in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of 15 wins and 12 losses. That's a 55.6% win percentage. They're also 9-6 from home, 6-6 from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak. So it's definitely been interesting to see there. Now coming into this matchup, we do also see when it comes to actually someone like Sophie Cunningham and also the Indiana and also Dallas matchup. Looking at Dallas, we do see Dallas Wings do come in at the 11th spot in the WNBA. Now, unfortunately, they rank a little bit worse because they come in at the 11th spot, but they also rank last in the Western Conference, and they have a record of 8 wins and 20 losses. So that's a 28.6% win percentage. They're also 5-9 from home, 3-11 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So when we look at someone like Sophie Cunningham, we actually do see coming into this matchup, we do actually see that Dallas Wings, when it comes to defense, they do rank when it comes to points allowed, they rank 10th. So why do we like the under for this situation here? Now, a big reason why is when we look at the team like Dallas, we actually do know that when we look on a per position basis, Dallas Wings actually do a fantastic job at restricting points to the guard position. And for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. We definitely see someone like Sophie Cunningham going on the under due to this situation. And when we also look further and more, into a per position basis, we also do know, with that being the case, we have seen Sophie Cunningham in the past struggle against teams that do great against guards. Now, although Sophie has gone on the over, multiple games so far in the last 5, you do also have to realize that she has faced off against teams that do allow a lot of points to her position. But coming into this next one, like we always say, matchups, that's what's most important. And with a matchup like this, we are definitely expecting the under for this one. So keep an eye for Sophie Cunningham. When you look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have her favorite for the under as well. So Sophie Cunningham, 9.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Nneka Ogwumike. Now, as you all know, Nneka, great player, and this one is for 17.5 points, and this one is for less. Now, looking at someone like Nneka, we actually have seen her go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, we do see on July 17th, faced off against Golden State Valkyries, had 22 points there. After that, faced off against on July 23rd against Dallas Wings, had 22 points in that matchup. Then July 25th, faced off against Chicago, had 10 points there. Then 18 points against Washington Mystics on July 27th. And then after that, faced off against Connecticut, had 26 points on July 29th. So it is pretty interesting to see there. Now, when we look at someone like Nneka, we obviously do see that Seattle Storm face off against Los Angeles Sparks coming into this matchup. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting matchup for sure. But looking at where both of these teams do rank, starting off with Seattle Storm, we do know Seattle do come in at the 4th spot in the WNBA, and they also rank 3rd in the Western Conference. Now, they have a record of 16 wins and 11 losses, a 59.3% win percentage. And on top of that, they're 8-5 from home, 8-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. Now, on the other side of things, we also do know that Los Angeles Sparks have had a bit of a struggle street season because they come in at the 10th spot in the WNBA. Now, they also have a record of actually, like I mentioned, 11 wins, 15 losses, a 42.3%, win percentage there. So when we also look at their home and away, they have a home record of 3-9, away record of 8-6, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. Now, looking at where Los Angeles Sparks do rank defensively, we do know Los Angeles Sparks do find themselves in a situation because Los Angeles do rank 11th when it comes to points allowed. However, the reason why we do like the under for this situation here is coming into this matchup, we do know Nneka does play that forward position, and what we have seen time and time again is that when it actually comes to Nneka, we actually do see that Los Angeles Sparks do a fantastic job at restricting points to the forward position, and that's where we are definitely expecting someone like Nneka to struggle here. Coming into this matchup, we do also know that when it comes to Nneka, she has had a couple of easier matchups in the last 5 games, and that's why when you do look at her last 5 games, it definitely does look very enticing in a sense that, she's definitely been able to be on a roll as of lately. But as we always mention, it is always about matchups. She has faced off against easier matchups recently, but coming into this next one against Sparks, although they do a poor job defensively regarding points, when you look on a per position basis, you definitely see a very different story, and that's why we do very much like the under for this one here. So definitely keep an eye out for someone like Nneka coming into this game. As we've mentioned, Nneka Ogwumike 17.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about another great player, and this is from the other side of that matchup, and that is none other than Kelsey Plum. Now, this one's a fantastic one for Kelsey Plum for 5.5 assists, and this one actually is for less. Now, when we look at Kelsey Plum, we actually have seen her go on the under in 0 out of the last 5 games. So, looking at these 5 games, we do see on July 16th, faced off against Washington Mystics, actually had a 6-assist game there. Then July 23rd, face off against Washington Mystics again, had 7 assists. Then July 25th, face off against Connecticut, had 6 assists in that matchup. 8 assists against New York Liberty on July 27th. And then July 30th, faced off against the Las Vegas Aces and had 8 assists there. So we definitely do very much like this situation here. Looking at someone like Kelsey Plum, yes, we haven't seen her go on the under as of recent, but we do know Los Angeles Sparks do face off against Seattle Storm. Now, looking at her average over the last 5, obviously it is 7, and looking at where, Seattle and Sparks do rank, we have briefly touched on it, but just to remind you again, Seattle Storm do rank 4th in the WNBA, while Los Angeles Sparks rank 10th. And coming into this matchup, we do also see when it comes to Sparks and Seattle, we are also expecting an interesting game here, because when we look at Seattle Storm, We do know Seattle Storm do rank when it comes to assists allowed. They actually do rank third. So they rank very, very high when it comes to restricting assists. And that's a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. We are definitely expecting the under since Seattle do rank very well, not just at restricting assists, but also do a fantastic job at restricting assists to the guard position. So we definitely are expecting a bit of a tough game from Kelsey there. So although Kelsey has been able to go in the over on her line as of recent, we always do have to mention it is on a per position basis, and looking at the matchup is very important. And seeing a matchup like this, we are definitely expecting the under for this one. So definitely keep an eye out for someone like Kelsey Plum coming into this game. We definitely like the under for this situation, especially, you know, with the matchup that they do face off again. So keep an eye out for Kelsey Plum for this one. 5.5 assists for less, I think, is a great pick. Alright, so as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Nneka Wheeler. Now, as you all know, Nneka Wheeler, great player from none other than Seattle Storm, and she has done a fantastic job so far this season, averaging 10.9 points, 3.2 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and also 1.1 steals. So she's definitely done a fantastic job there. And when we look at Seattle Storm, we do know that they have themselves a very good matchup against the Los Angeles Sparks. Now, looking at both of these teams and where both of these teams do rank, starting off with Seattle Storm, we do know that they come in at the 4th spot in the WNBA. Now, they also have the 3rd spot in the Western Conference, but they do have a record of 16 wins and 11 losses. That's a 59.3% win percentage. And on top of that, they are 8-5 from home, 8-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. Now, on the other side of things, they face off against none other than Los Angeles Sparks. And as we do know, Los Angeles Sparks do find themselves at the 10th spot in the WNBA, and they have a record of 11 wins and also 15 losses. So it's a 42.3% win percentage. Now, they are 3-9 from home, 8-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak as well. Now, looking at both of these teams, obviously both are in the Western Conference, and both teams are looking to continue to try to, you know, string along some wins. But coming into this matchup and looking at where Los Angeles Sparks do rank defensively, we do know Sparks do rank 11th in points allowed, 10th in assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, we also do see that the Sparks rank a little bit better as they actually rank 3rd. So coming into this game, we do actually like the over for someone like Nneka Wheeler, but strictly just for points and assists. And a big reason for this is due to the fact, like I've mentioned time and time again, that Sparks actually do a very poor job at the points and assists category. And we are expecting someone like Nneka Wheeler to be able to take advantage of it and go on the over here. Now, looking at this matchup more in depth, we also do know, looking at someone like Nneka Wheeler, we have also seen her, you know, play really well against lower tier teams. Looking at the last 5 games, we see on the 17th, faced off against Golden State Valkyries, had a 67-58 win there with 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Then on the 23rd, faced off against Dallas, had an 87-63 loss with 4 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists there. After that, faced off against Chicago on the 25th with a 95-57 win with 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Then on the 27th, faced off against Washington Mystics, had a 69-58 loss with 12 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists there. And then on the 29th, faced off against Connecticut Sun with a 101-85 victory with 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists there. So it's definitely been fantastic in that sense. Now, looking at someone like Nneka Wheeler, we have definitely seen her go, you know, on the under at times and other times going on the over. But as I mentioned, coming into this game, as we always say, matchups. That's what's most important. And with a matchup like this against LA Sparks to do a poor job defensively at points and assists, we are definitely expecting the over for this. So for that reason, keep an eye out for the over for Nneka Wheeler. But as I've always mentioned, keep an eye out for the line first. And if the line is under our averages, then definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting into the next player, we're actually going to be talking about Wnba Bonner. So Wnba Bonner, great player from none other than Phoenix Mercury. Now, she's done a fantastic job so far this season, averaging 8.6 points, 4.1 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and also 0.9 steals. So she's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, coming into this game, we also do know when it comes to Phoenix Mercury, they do have themselves a great matchup against Atlanta Dream. Now, looking at both of these teams and where both of these teams do rank, starting off with Phoenix Mercury, we have seen Phoenix actually do a fantastic job coming in at the 3rd spot in the WNBA, but they also rank 2nd in the Western Conference. Now, they have a record of 16 wins and 10 losses. That's a 61.5% win percentage. They are 9-4 from home, 7-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak as well. So it is a little bit interesting in that sense. Now, coming into this next game, they do face off against none other than Atlanta Dream. And Atlanta Dream, on the other side of things, do currently rank 5th in the WNBA, but they also rank 2nd in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of 16 wins and 11 losses. That's a 59.3% win percentage. They're 8-4 from home, 8-7 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So, when we look at both these teams, both teams are pretty highly ranked in their conference and also highly ranked in general. And looking at Atlanta Dream defensively, we do know Atlanta ranked 4th in points allowed. They also rank 6th in assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 1st. So Atlanta Dream are in a position that they are due to the fact that they are a great defensive team. And because of that, we do actually like the under for someone like Wnba Prizepicks coming into this game. Now, not only do Atlanta Dream do a fantastic job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists, but they also do a fantastic job at restricting those things when it actually comes to the forward position. And the fact that Wnba Prizepicks does usually play that forward position, we are definitely expecting the under for this situation here. Now, coming for this game as well, and looking at Wnba Prizepicks over the last 5, we do see on the 17th faced off against Minnesota, had a 79-66 loss in that matchup, had 11 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists there. Then on the 24th faced off against Atlanta, had a 90-79 loss with actually 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist in that matchup. Then on the 26th, faced off against New York Liberty, had an 89-76 loss with 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in that matchup. Then on the 28th, faced off against Washington Mystics, had an 88-72 win with actually 2 points, 6 rebounds, and 0 assists there. And then on the 31st, faced off against Indiana, had a 107-101 loss with 4 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists there. So we actually have seen someone like Wnba Prizepicks go on the under at times and go on the over at others. When we look at her most recent game, which was against Atlanta, she did have 18 points, so she did go over on that line, but she did go on the under in her rebound and assists compared to her averages. Now, coming into this next one, we do very, very much, still like the under for this. As I've always mentioned, there will be times where players beat their, sort of projected outcome. That's what we did see in that game. Atlanta weren't able to hold Wnba Prizepicks that well, but coming into this next one, we are expecting Atlanta to make some adjustments and be able to force someone like Wnba to go on the under there. So for that reason, keep an eye out for the under for this situation here. So Wnba Prizepicks, keep an eye out for the line. If the line is too close to our averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Kamilla Cardoso. Now, as you all know, Kamilla Cardoso, great player. Now, we also do see when it actually comes to, Kamilla over the last 5 games, we do actually see her average 12.5 points, 7.9 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and also 0.4 steals. So it is really interesting to see there. Now, obviously, coming into this matchup, we do know Chicago Sky have themselves a very, very good matchup against Golden State Valkyries. So as we all know, when we look at where both of these teams do rank, starting off with Chicago Sky, we do know that they rank 12th in the WNBA. Now, they also have ranked in the Eastern Conference at actually the 5th spot. And on top of that, they have a record of 7 wins and 19 losses. So it's a 26.9% win percentage. On top of that, they are also 4-8 from home, 3-11 from away, and are currently on a 6-game losing streak. So it's definitely been pretty tough for Chicago Sky there. Now, coming into this next matchup, we do know Chicago Sky face off against Golden State Valkyries. And looking at Valkyries, we do know that they come in at the 8th spot in the WNBA, but they also rank 5th in the Western Conference as well. Now, they have a record of 13 wins and 13 losses. That's a 50% win percentage. And on top of that, they are 8-4 from home, 5-9 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So it is pretty interesting to see there. Now, coming into this matchup, we also do see that looking at defensively Golden State Valkyries, we do know Valkyries do rank third in points allowed, fifth when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank fifth. So they rank pretty well when it comes to restricting points, rebounds, and assists. Now, coming into this matchup, we do actually like the under for this situation here. And for that reason, we do very, very much like the under due to the fact that when we look at someone like Kamilla, we do know that she is in that center position. And on top of that, not only do Golden State Valkyries do a great job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the center position, but on top of that, we are expecting Golden State Valkyries to put a lot of defensive attention on her coming into this game. So for that reason, we do very, very much like the under. Now, looking at Kamilla over the last 5 games, we do see some pretty interesting matchups. We do also see that when it actually comes to her last 5 games, you see on the 17th, face off against Atlanta, had an 86-49 loss with 8 points, 11 rebounds, and 0 assists there. On the 23rd, face off against Minnesota, had a 91-68 loss with 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists there. And then on the 25th, faced off against Seattle, had a 95-57 loss and had 13 points, 13 rebounds, and 0 assists there. After that, on the 28th, faced off against Indiana, had a 93-78 loss with 12 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists in that matchup. And then on the 30th, faced off against Washington, had a 103-86 loss with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 0 assists there. So coming into this matchup, it's definitely going to be an exciting one. But what we also do see coming into this game is looking at someone like Kamilla. We have definitely seen her at times struggle, especially against tougher defensive teams. And that's why coming against Golden State Valkyries, we should definitely see her go on the under here. Now, we don't really think you need to focus on anything in particular. I think all sort of stats definitely have the capability for someone like Kamilla to go on the under. So just keep an eye out for a line. As I always mentioned, the line is too close to our averages, then definitely look to go on the under there. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Natasha Cloud. So as you all know, Natasha Cloud, great player for none other than New York Liberty. Now, she has done a fantastic job during the regular season, averaging 10.2 points, 3.6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.4 steals. So it's definitely been fantastic there. Now, looking at this matchup, what we also do see is looking into this, we do know that New York Liberty and Natasha Cloud face off against none other than Connecticut Sun. So it is definitely going to be an exciting game there. But looking at actually, Natasha Cloud and Liberty's ranking compared to actually Connecticut, looking more in depth into that, we do know New York Liberty have done such a fantastic job coming in at the 2nd spot in the WNBA. So not only do they rank 2nd in the WNBA, but they also rank 1st in the Eastern Conference. So they have a record of 17 wins and also 9 losses. And on top of that, they also have a 65.4% win percentage. They're also 12-3 at home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak. On top of that, they face off against none other than, like I've mentioned, Connecticut Sun. Now, Connecticut Sun, unfortunately, are in a bit of a different situation because Connecticut Sun actually find themselves in a situation where they rank 13th in the WNBA. So they actually rank last in the league, which is a bit, struggling there. On top of that, we also do see when it comes to, Connecticut Sun, they also rank last also in the Eastern Conference. They have the worst record with 4 wins and 21 losses. And on top of that, they have a 16% win percentage, which is interesting to see. Now, when we look at that more in depth, we do see 3-10. They do have a record at their home, and then they have 1-11 from away. And on top of that, we also do see that they are on currently a 1-game losing streak. So it is definitely going to be an interesting game there. But coming into this matchup, we do very much know, looking at Connecticut Sun, we do see Connecticut Sun do actually rank 13th when it comes to points allowed, 11th when it comes to assists allowed, and 13th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So Connecticut Sun do a very, very poor job, when it comes to all three categories. And that's one of the reasons why they are the worst teams, or the worst team in the WNBA. No disrespect to them, but coming into this matchup, we are definitely expecting Natasha Cloud to be able to go in the over. We don't really see her, struggling to be able to get her stats, whether it's in the points, rebounds, and assist department. And that's why coming into this matchup, it's definitely going to be, a big start for us. So, coming into this one, looking at Natasha Cloud, we do actually see at Connecticut Sun, we do know that, their defense has been poor as of lately, and they also do a poor job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the guard position. So this one's just kind of a no-brainer to us. Now, looking at her last 5 games, we do see on the 23rd, faced off against Indiana, had a 98-84 win there, with actually 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Then on the 26th, faced off against Phoenix, had an 89-76 win with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists there. Then on the 27th, faced off against LA with a 101-99 loss with 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 9 assists there. On the 29th, faced off against Dallas, actually had a 92-82 loss with 4 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists. And then on the 31st, faced off against Minnesota Lynx and actually had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists with a 193 loss. So it is pretty interesting to see there. Now, coming into this matchup, like I've mentioned before, it is going to be, a situation where we don't really see Natasha Cloud struggling, and we do like the over for this one.